Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Earth's Ascension with Ortrun and Carl Franklin. It's going to be a wonderful conversation today about rebalancing and shifting within ourselves, within Grandmother Earth, and out into the galaxy. It's all about rebalancing and balance. Good morning, Ortrun and Carl.
Good morning, everyone. It's
wonderful
wonderful being with you.
Thank you for taking time out of your life to join with us.
Yes.
Hey, changes, wow, they are happening. I'd like to talk about that on a couple of levels here. One, the Earth changes that are happening on the surface of the Earth. Well, you're all familiar with the Schumann resonance. That has peaked over 100 this year, up from 7.8 prior to 1988, and it continues to erratically increase. And the weather is continuing its erratic swings, hot to cold, setting records or breaking records all over the planet in various times, various places, various times. One place in the southern part of the U.S. In April got snow. They broke a 120-year record with that. And these are happening all over the world. The earthquakes, would you believe that California is getting between 80 and 120 earthquakes a day? Yes, a day. Most of them are minor, so they're not felt. It has to be really a level 4 magnitude or above before there's any sensation of movement. And a lot of these are just down in the 1 and the 2 area. But California is moving along with that line of where crusts join that goes all along the west coast through Mexico and out into the Pacific. And the number of earthquakes in the world and the magnitudes added together are setting records. And hurricanes and violent storms are, again, setting records. The Earth is changing. And what this means is that you cannot have the degree of change that the Earth or we personally are having in as brief a period of time as it appears to be occurring without having chaotic situations. And rapid change equals chaos, and many of us are experiencing that in our personal life and in the planet. And this is normal. If you are not having chaos in your life, all right, if you're just floating along very smoothly, that means you've either attained what it is you've come to attain, and I don't know of anyone that has, or I don't know what else it might mean. And I don't know of anyone that isn't being confronted with pockets of challenges. And it's there for our learning, for our growing, for our becoming strong, for our developing our abilities to deal with these kinds of challenges. So within our own personhood, secondly, I want to talk about the social changes. There's never been a time in our recorded history where we're dealing with so many social issues all at the same time. We're dealing with women's rights. Women have always been subjected to men. And that's now being dealt with. We're dealing with racial discrimination. And this isn't just in this country. This is a worldwide phenomenon. And we're dealing with religions working out their differences, learning to accept one another. We have not yet dealt with the economic imbalance in the lives of people. That is yet to come. And that will probably be dealt with in big time when we get, I'm drawing a blank on the name, that there's going to be a new currency that's coming out along with a new economic system. And when that hits, that will be a major way of handling the economic disparity between not only people within a country, but between countries too. So we're dealing with all of these things at the same time. And the women's issue has never been dealt with throughout history. And we have moved beyond the level of slavery, for example, and we are recognizing these social problems. And we do have problems, or we do have programs where they are being dealt with on a governmental level and sometimes on a religious level. But so our awareness is now there, and our desire to do something about it has greatly increased. All right? Now, on a personal level, this varies all over the place. But if you look back to where you were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and where you are now in your spiritual life, okay, and how your beliefs have changed, how your attitudes, your values, your outlooks, and thus your behavior have changed. I'm going to guess that none of us have made that much change in that period of time in virtually any of our past lifetimes. We're growing at an unprecedented rate. The earth is changing at an unprecedented rate. Social structures are changing at an unprecedented rate. And it's an absolutely fantastic time to be here. Why? Because we're being confronted with challenges we've never had to deal with before. Can you imagine the learning that we're gaining, the strength we're getting by dealing with them, within ourselves, within our societies, within the planet? And can you imagine the effect that you, one person, are having by joining the collective of people who are dealing with all of these issues? So this is going to be probably one of our most effective lifetimes in terms of affecting positive change. So it's all happening right now.
Well, we're finishing out the month of April. And today is the 28th of April. And as far as this month is concerned, it's really, especially to this day, it is a time of new beginnings. 2021 is very much a time to achieve freedom. And so what Carl was speaking of regarding all the different things that are going on the outer, with all the earthly changes that we're seeing and the viruses and all the things just in our country that we've seen even over this month that have occurred, it's amazing. I mean, whoever saw that much going on in a certain period of time in our lifetimes, really, because this week has been just one thing right after the other, it seems to me, and this month has been. Now, this month of April has had two super moons, which is really quite outstanding because they're always so much more powerful. The regular moon is just a spectacle in itself. We love the moon. How many of us look out and stand in the moon if we get a chance every month, but this time we had two of those. So this month was especially being, being sent light so that we can start to attain that freedom on not only the outer levels, the physical levels, but also on the spiritual levels. But what this does is that if we have chosen to be a light worker, And most of us here that are listening to the program, they have. And the ones that are considered light workers are ones that truly chose to help the planet and to be involved with the planet and attaining or trying to attain, and they do attain temporarily, this connection with heaven and earth. What we're doing is we are bringing together heaven and earth. And so with that, it brings up all of these different aspects, which are, in a sense, that have been negative. There are many, many beautiful aspects on our planet, but it brings up all of those different energies. And it's more and more emphasized this month also because of those two super moons. The old saying, April showers brings May flowers. Well, there's two different things. If you look at that statement, April showers brings May flowers. So it's given us the courage or the enjoyment and the thought of new beginning. The old has died out and the new is starting to spring. So then the showers, they help us to grow, help the flowers to grow, help us to grow. It cleanses us because when we are standing in the shower, just think of how it feels to balance out the energy vibrations that are around you, which, we take on every day of our life. So you're washing that away. But it also is the time to bring together and bring that which is of the earth to the heavens. So it's a time of inner and outer, of connecting not only the inner with the outer, but also the outer with the inner. So that we start recognizing that we are so much more than what we believe that we are. And if we have chosen to be here upon the planet at this time, as many of us have, and there was on Facebook, one of the things that went around through my site, and I passed it on this month, is that you asked to be on the earth during these events. You are not here by accident. You signed up for these experiences before you came here. Now enjoy the ride. Enjoying the ride is a nice thing, but when you're faced with challenges, it doesn't seem so nice anymore. And it makes you question whether you really are on the right path, or what have you done, or, why are you fumbling up? Carl and I, over this last month, have had some incidences, and Carl even said one time that he felt like he was really experienced possibly checking out, as he calls it, leaving the planet, that he had a day of that nature. Some of us are starting to be introduced to some, I believe when those kind of things happen, we feel that way, that we're moving into a different level of initiation. We've completed one of the spirals that we have been moving upward through, and we've attained another level, which then brings us to a space where we do have a review, and we are then also very possibly given even a more important task, a task that can be extremely challenging even for those that are the light workers. For instance, Carl, he had this feeling, and he's had issues this month. He's had some physical issues that have come up, which he's dealing with. And I have had, specifically this week, coming up, some physical things. They're considered physical things because they're man-made. And I'm going to specifically speak to one of the huge issues right now that's here on the planet, and that is people on unemployment. And what the pandemic has brought about with this, and brought about, an enormous amount of people being unemployed. And we found ourselves in that situation, even though we are self-employed. But then when our business dropped quite a bit at the beginning of the pandemic, and then they offered it to self-employed or to gig workers, we applied with it. Well, which is fine and dandy. Well, that you did that, and it seems fine. It's moving right along. And I believe that this challenge is coming before me and before Carl because we did move into that direction. So we moved into an energy field that does not necessarily carry with it a lot of positive vibration. And so now that it's beginning to get closer and closer to the being over, now everything's being challenged, whether this is actually meant to be, for you, or whether you're doing this illegally, or if it's fraud, and those kind of issues. And that's really exactly what's happening to us. And so all of a sudden we get this notification that we owe all this money. So, well, I don't know about you, how you would be affected by saying, okay, now you have to pay back unemployment, maybe $20,000. How would you feel about that? Well, it doesn't affect me very easily. And usually the things, when you move into another realm of spirituality, you are given things that you either have had experience in or that you still need to learn and experience from. So now we're in this energy vibration, and it was really challenging for me day before yesterday. But I've very much, I'm going to say, these beautiful cards of Denise's, and I'm so thrilled because, Archangel Metatron and Archangel St. Gabriel and Archangel Sandalphon, they all have been with me over the last few days. And they have helped me into focusing more onto this is resolvable instead of what a big challenge it is. And the unemployment system in the United States is really, really horrific, no matter which state it is. It's one of the hardest ones to understand and to actually be able to work through. So what came to me this morning was that was one of the things that I was to assist with and flow through it, even though I know it's going to be challenging, but to flow with it and to know that you are more than what you think you are. And when you're brought into a space where it is an earthly challenge for you, we often forget that we are more than that physical being. And the physical being that we have, this body of ours, is really only the haven for our soul. And we have chosen to be here. We chose to come here to assist. We signed up for these experiences. And the reason you're here is because you can assist with it. It's no accident. You came, you were chosen for a purpose. You were chosen to help with the fluidity of energy vibration. And everything moves. Everything within us moves, and everything around us moves. And so the most important thing is to breathe through this and know that you are not alone. And why I'm saying this about this is a time of the connection with the birthing of the springtime, the time when we bring forth new things, and also the connecting of the outer with the inner, is because when we get into a situation like this, where we're overwhelmed all of a sudden with something very challenging, for us in our lives, we want to stop breathing. We have to continue to breathe and then start recognizing and remembering that you are a divine being of light, that you are here for a purpose. And this is something that you are now taking on or have chosen to take on. Your soul has taken us on so that you can progress, but also that we can uplift that planet and bring the planet through that particular challenge. So we are placed in situations, we may think that we're, in a sense, we're being punished, but we really aren't. We are taking on challenges to help others to also walk through these challenges. I know today that what Carl and I will be experiencing by dealing with, quote, unemployment and getting it reorganized is something that many, many people are going to be experiencing. And that vibration brings tons of fear into the hearts and minds of most people, to having to do something of that sort. So it's a time for us to realize that we're not that little self. We have that heart within us, but that heart just looks like it's a small part of our body. But the thing of it is that in that heart, that the divine essence of the heart, the divine mind are there, and that is our soul. So our soul is within us. And to start now bringing together that larger part of us, to bring together that expansion of the soul. You brought the soul, an aspect of it with you here on the planet. It carries with it every single thing that your soul has in the divine. And to now open ourselves up and start bringing in and allowing us to expand. Yes, our physical body is not going to expand. We don't want that part of it to expand. But we want that energetic body to expand. So recognize what you are. You are that aspect of the divine. You're living this divine light within you. So recognize this is the way that you can go beyond and move into that space of freedom. You know, April showers brings May flowers. And as we move into May, it will become for you then that time of prosperity. And by our working our own things, we will see that beauty starting to come forth also on the outer, on our planet Earth.
It's not a simple solution, but it is a total solution to dealing with these challenges as they come into our life, is not to focus on the challenges out there in the world, but to go within and to become one consciousness with your divine soul and approach it from the viewpoint and the tremendous energy of your soul, and deal with it from that level and see it in your heart and in your mind being solved and resolved for the highest good of everybody involved. Okay? And if you deal with it from that level, it's going to minimize and perhaps totally eliminate the stress, the anxiety, the fear, and you're going to use it for your own spiritual growth, and you're going to be helping, as Ortrun indicated, a pathway that will make it easier for others to then follow, to deal with it from that high level.
And you know, the new children that are coming in, you know, all of our beautiful children on our ancestor lines, they're all coming in now. You know, these beautiful, beautiful indigo and crystal children. And they are not ones that are tolerable, I'm going to say, of the manipulation that's gone on with us as individuals and what we've allowed over the many, many generations. So it's time for us at our space where we are at right now to walk into our challenges, knowing that we are not a little dot on the planet. Know that you're this huge, humongous soul that is filled with divine angels, guides, masters, the archangels. It's all part of you. It's all in there. You know, that little blueprint is in the soul that dwells within this haven, which is your body. So connect and open your mind, your consciousness to that inner knowing so that you can feel these energies that are all around you. Because all of us have chosen to be here. You know, we chose to come, and we were asked to come because they saw a quality in us that was needed here for this planet, for the transmutation of this planet. So take whatever is your challenge, because you probably have something, and realize that this isn't just your challenge. This is a big challenge that many, many have, and that your light will radiate into yourself. You'll start moving the energies within you so that that energy can be reformed. It can be reformed magically or through alchemy. It can move and be changed. So start weaving the new energy that you want to have experienced in you and around you and in the planet. And by your boosting yourself, bringing yourself into freedom, and then going forth, now starting anew, you can then assist planet Earth. You are a wonderful and beautiful light worker, and I encourage you to recognize how beautiful and important that you are.
I think we've all been conditioned by our five senses that we are a body and that we live in a physical world. But that is only partially true. We live in an inner world. And a way to communicate with that inner world and have it communicate with you, it has to be through the subconscious. The conscious mind, only 12 to 15% of our mind. The rest is subconscious or supraconscious or whatever you want to call it. Those are the parts that deal with the spirit realm, the realms beyond the physical realm. And our soul is the contact point. Our soul is the divine consciousness that exists within each one of us. And if we live out of that divine consciousness, allowing that divine consciousness to not only experience, but also to express through us, can you imagine how much positive effect you can have on the life of not only yourself, but of those around you and on the planet itself? And as Orton has said, we're literally here to create heaven on earth. That is the transition that we're going through. That's the goal to attain behind all of these challenges that we and the planet are going through. So please meditate, go within, ask for guidance coming from your soul, and then follow the guidance that's given.
And realize that as you are doing that, you are assisting in the rebalancing of this planet. That you're moving from, in a sense, what might still be a little bit of your darkness and changing it into the light. And this is a time where we're experiencing the fourth dimension. It's like it's there all the time. But what I realized since this supermoon, this beautiful, beautiful rose moon, and energizing my crystals and having them bathe in this light, a new challenge was given to me. But the first, it was a shock. And then secondly, now the recognition that I can move through this. I can be fluid through this. We can all fluidly move through whatever our challenges are, because we have such a force of energy that is truly supporting us. And I just wanted to share my situation with you, but it's a challenge that has been given to me. So we are given challenges, not only for ourselves, but also to assist with the upliftment of the planet. And this was such a pronounced one. And when I first felt the energy coming to me from this, now I realize I was feeling the energy of so many that are out there that are in that position, and the fear that comes with having to deal with the government, in a sense, with the system, and to realize these have to be changed. And we're the ones that are going to be changing them by bringing our state of awareness and consciousness and radiance out into the planet. Now, if you have any questions, I think we're ready for some questions, aren't we, Carl?
We've got a couple minutes left.
Yes. So are there any questions out there?
Or comments.
Or comments, yes, for sure.
Well, Kelly is expressing, she's thanking you. She's saying, wow, very empowering reminders. And also in the beginning, when Carl was talking about finance and money, resources, she asked if Carl was referring to Bitcoin.
No, I was not. I was not referring to Bitcoin.
Okay.
I'm referring more to Nasara, okay, which will be a new it's a whole new banking system. It's a whole new economic system, and if it happens as portrayed, it will be a worldwide phenomena. And it will bring about mass distribution of wealth. What we have is not tenable, where 1-2% of the population of this country controls over 50% of the wealth of the country. That money is going to be redistributed.
Thank you for
Anything
that.
else?
No, I think that's it. In the chat room, everyone is just listening intently.
Well, we live in the most interesting times that have ever been recorded throughout our history. And as Ortrun said, we volunteered to be here, and of the many volunteers, we were selected. All right? And there were reasons for that, and we have whatever it takes to meet and overcome the challenges that we're confronted with. And as we change or meet these challenges in our life, we are helping to change the collective consciousness of humanity. And in the process, we're also grounding higher frequency energies into the planet, which help her. So we're working on these two levels to creating, as we create this heaven on earth.
Outstanding. What a great show. Thank you both.
Well, thank you, Dana, for hosting this, for providing this, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And both Ortrun and I hope that it's been empowering and informative and helpful to you.
And yes, and everyone's going to get what it is that they can assist with. I just happened to get hit really strong. It was interesting. It came right after we brought our stones in, our crystals in, and it was like, boom, I was just hit with this particular energy vibration. So, we've all signed up for things. They're not going to be necessarily what I signed up for or what Carl signed up for, with his feeling that he was going to be maybe leaving this earth plane, because there's things that he's apparently needing to assist himself with and others with that process. As a matter of fact, Carl has been working with a totally new group of beings as far as moving them on. And what do you refer to those as? The disembodied souls or something?
The Dark Lords?
No, you said the disembodied souls or something.
No, they're the ones on the astral plane.
Well, he used a new term today. I don't know. Okay. Apparently he used it today, and it sounded different. And I think he was talking about something about the walk-ins.
Oh.
Yeah. Talk about that, Carl.
Well, we're out of time here, honey.
Just finish that.
I've been working to clear the Dark Lords off of the astral plane, and actually the entire astral plane. But what's been coming in lately are the number of dark beings who were on the astral plane, who have now invaded and taken over the consciousness of the bodies of people who did not invite them, and influencing these people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. So now working to help clear these dark beings, to free these people up from this dark energy, and to send these dark beings off of the earth.
So I'm just saying that we all continue to take on different things where it can be of service with, and that just seems to be a little bit different realm than what Carl was working with before. And I know there have been some other things that have come into him recently, which he specifically has said, no, I'm not going to go down that road. Mm-hmm. So realize that when challenges come into you, take it within your heart, mind, and then make that decision. Is this something that can be beneficial to, not only myself, or will it be worse for myself or my family? So, and you can make that decision, no, this is not something that I'm to be working with this time, this energy vibration. So, but as you heard, he did take on a different role in a different way, which I've never heard about, is that particular type of entity. So it's so interesting how we change and how new things are given to us as we, progress and what we know how to do and what we still need to learn how to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lily is in the chat room and she's saying thank you, great show. And Kelly is wrapping it up with, I am so grateful for you both. You are so important to so many. And I agree with both of those ladies.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we really do. We love the planet, and we love the people on it. And
yeah, please accept our blessing. May our hearts and our souls connect with yours as we become one.
Yes. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes, and month till we see you again.
Have a beautiful day, everyone. Blessings be.
Bye-bye now.